In this video, I'm going to try to explain um, how to decide when to do each input during climbs to be as optimal as possible. Um, a few things about TAS that are useful to know for this demo is that TAS runs at 100 FPS while the game runs at 50 FPS. So stuff like this, it looks like I'm pressing for 2 frames, but it's actually just one. Uh, and I could technically do a 0 frame repress like this because the odd ones are the physics frame, and from the point of view of the game, there isn't any physics frame where I'm unpressing. But since I am pressed on a graphics frame, it will like wings or jump will still come out. But I'm just not doing those right now because RTA it's mostly gonna do um like at most 1 frame. Like you could do 0 frame wall jumps, yeah, but it's not like it's not consistent at all, basically. Another thing that's important to know is here the blue frame is like the frame task says I'm on, but what I see here is actually um, 1 frame earlier. So if task says I'm on frame 3918, this is actually happening on 3916, sorry. And this is not really that important, it will just matter for at the end for the timing. Then the last thing I think that will be useful are these info at the top left, top right, sorry. Um, that's the first one is the position, and the one that matters is or at least the one that matters for this demo is the vertical position. And the second two are the ones that like the next two are the next ones that really matter. They're your velocities, and for the purposes of this demo, they're the same thing. The only thing is that airborne velocity will update 1 task frame earlier than differential velocity, but it doesn't really matter too much. And again, the number you want to look out for is the second one, which is your vertical velocity. I'm gonna go through the movement just to show what you can expect. And I'm not doing instas because I think the demo is a bit better without doing instas, and because most people don't do them. So like yeah, I think it's just gonna be useful for more people if I show the demo without them, and everything I say here can also very easily be applied when you're doing instas. So here the timing ends when I do the wall jump, and the way I consider that is the first frame where both of these numbers are negative. So in this case, like I said earlier, this is for 107, but since that's like what I'm seeing happened 1 frame earlier, it's for 105, which is the number I recorded here. Also, I record the height just because these are generally good thing to do when you're uh, timing stuff where your height is not normalized. But I don't think it really matters too much for this demo. It's just something that I did for consistency. And then now we get to the like part that actually matters for your speed, and which is basically like these numbers. Uh, what they are is the last vertical speed that you see before it gets changed uh, by one of your inputs. And the way I'm gonna show first what I mean just to make sure because it's kind of hard to understand without an example, I think. So here, for example, 12.6 is the last vertical height I see. And then it changes. So I record 12.6 because this is the thing that matters. Then on the next wings, it should be 10.9, and then yeah, 1 frame later it changes. Then 3.1, 1 frame later it changes, and then 10.0. and then 1 frame later it changes, and the last one matters too, and it's 3.1 again. Um, so the way you want to optimize your climbs is that you want these numbers to be as close as possible. Of course, this is like um, ignoring the geometry, because sometimes the geometry of the level will not allow for like these to be exactly as close as possible, or not as close as possible, but like exactly the same. But if you can help it, you want them to not differ by too much. um, in this case it will be possible to get them everyone to be almost the same. So one thing is that like RTA, it's gonna be hard to like know exactly what your vertical speed is. So like you can't know for sure that you're changing it every time at the same value. But I feel like after a while of doing climbs and practicing, you kind of get a feel for it, especially if you're actively looking out to do that. So like I know it sounds a bit too complicated for RTA and something that is not applicable to TAS, but I think it's also applicable to RTA. And I don't know if I said that, but like you see, these are like really bad like changes of speed, because the numbers are all over the place. They aren't as close as possible. So, for example, one thing that I could try to make it faster is to make these two equal. So like 10 point, I don't know exactly what the decimal will be, so I will just leave it at x for now. Then 10.9, and then the rest I'll see. Like I will show me tossing and trying to get a better timing at the end. So here I want to jump 2 frames later, I think. Yeah, and I jump on 10.7. Okay. Then since I jumped 2 frames later, I want to wings 2 frames later. So I still wings on 10.9. Okay, yeah. Then here, the earliest I can wall jump is 8.8, or I think 8.8. But it's around 8.8, 8.9, that number. And here the next wings is at 10. So actually doing the wall jump earlier and the wings later would benefit because they would get closer. So I'm going to try to wall jump here as soon as possible to see what happens. Okay, so 8.8, I want to see if I can wall jump 1 frame earlier, even though I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, 9.7. And then wings again on 10. Let's see what happens. 10. So I wings here. Oh, forgot to record this 10.7 and then 10.0. Okay, so this is, by the way, I don't think this is gonna work, but this is just to demo. Or even if it works, I think it's gonna be slower. Yeah, so there is never a frame here under like the fourth row. It says what action you can do, and there is never a frame where I can wall jump, which means I'm too low. And basically, oh my bad. Basically, what this means is that these numbers were too high. So I'm going to just like go through it again, but maybe jump 1 frame later on each one of them, and it should work. So here I should see 10.9.7. Then here uh, should be 10.0, yeah. 10.0, 9.7 again. So here I jump, and then I will wings again at 10.0. Yeah, I don't know why I was stuttering there. Okay, 10.0. My bad. Oh fuck, sorry again. Yeah, so I should be able to wall jump like this. Yeah, let me try one frame earlier just because I want to see the earliest frame I can wall jump on. Okay, I can wall jump with 4.0. I think this is the last frame I can wall jump. I'm just gonna start writing down stuff while it plays. Yeah, so here it doesn't let me wall jump. So I can wall jump now at 4 on 4.0. The height is uh so here I know it doesn't look like I should count this because wait, fuck. I sorry, I had my jump buttons or I guess my jump inputs delayed by one like on the wrong physics frames. Yeah, 4.0, then height 39.77356, and then the frame is 4097. So you can see that already by spacing this out a little bit better, I saved 8 frames, which is, or I guess 8 task frames, which is 4 frames, which is 0.08, which I know doesn't sound too much, but for just like uh, 2 wall jumps and 2 wings, it's kind of a lot because especially when you think about the whole abyss climb, if you save zero point 0.8 on every single section like this, because this is like probably a 2-second section, you will end up saving probably more than zero point 0.4 at the end. So it quickly adds up this kind of stuff, and I actually prepared what the optimal movement is, and we can actually save one more frame. Uh, Here I need to jump on 8 point. I'm gonna like bring it up. Okay, yeah, 8.8. I need to wall jump on 8.8, then wings on 9.0. So I think 2 frames later, maybe 9.0. Yeah, correct one. Uh, we'll jump on 8.8. So this will be way too early. Oh my bad. Okay, jumps on 8.8. Then, and you see like this is even more like this is almost basically as close as you can get it to be because like these are for example after a jump which you will never get 8.8 after a jump just because of how like your speed evolves. So that's why what I mean when I say you want to get them as close as possible without actually get like you don't really need to aim for them to be the exact same number because sometimes it's also not possible based on what input you do. So this should be another 9.0 I think. So yeah, here. And then I should jump on 8.8. Oh yeah, I had to remove some horizontal movement because of how slow it was. So here I could not even like I wasn't even touching the wall on 8.8. After adding it back like this. This should be the first frame. And yeah, as you can see, oh, 3. I don't know why I didn't record this properly, but let's ignore that. 9997. And I wall jumped 1 frame earlier. Now you could say that like maybe if I tried some different values, y- maybe I would get it a bit faster. And yeah, that's fair. But the thing is that I like tested it out mathematically what the best spacing between each number is to reach a certain height as fast as possible. Or I guess I did it when falling, but it's the same exact concept. And basically you want this to be as close as possible. just because of the symmetry of the system. And in Hollow Knight, actually, you will get a bit more leniency, especially when doing instas. Like, it often happens that you have three jumps that could be done, three wall jumps that could be done, all at, like, for example, 9.7, let's say. But if you do one at 11.6 and then the other two at 9, at whatever input follows, um, you still get the same timing, and that's because Hollow Knight is not continuous. It's discrete, like it updates once every point or two, which means that sometimes like you still get the same exact speed, even if you're not doing things that would be as optimal as possible if it was a continuous setting. But yeah, this is pretty much like everything. Uh, I don't think there is anything else. Oh yeah, here it's just a coincidence that the number is higher. Um, oh wait, maybe I can jump one from earlier. That's why I was higher. Let me just check. I don't know if I did, but yeah, here is just. I think it's just a coincidence that. Yeah, no, okay, I can't. It's that the number is higher. Sometimes the faster movement will give you lower height, and that's just fine. And that's why you have to, or I guess I record the height for consistency, because if, for example, instead of 8.9 here I got 7.70 or 434, for example, this is a very significant height difference between these two. So maybe the frame I'm saving here uh, is just gonna be wasted later because I have to travel a bigger height vertically. But like this is just stuff related to the timing. It doesn't interfere with the actual concept of this video of how um how you want to wings or wall jump or even pogo. I didn't show any pogos here because you just don't do any pogos in this section, but it's the same exact concept. You want the pogo to change your height to be as close as possible um, with everything else. And also you can see that this is not even like a small time save. I know this is like really bad because it kind of doesn't look like it because task is slowed down. But if you saw someone do these types of input, it would look really bad. But for example, the difference between this and this is extremely slight, probably not even that noticeable by humans, and it's still one frame. And for the purpose of abyss climb or even like things like for example um Path of Pain comes up grinding, this one frame in just four inputs is a lot. Like it's just simply a lot more than it looks like.